They say lightning never strikes twice. Well, lightning is back again for the third time in Brave Exvius. That's right, not twice, but 3 times. Welcome back once again to another FFBE video. Today we're going over why you should be taking a look at Lightning, the Final Fantasy XIII-2 free version that you guys can get your hands on right now. Thank you for spending some time here today, and thanks again to our Patreon as well as YouTube channel membership sponsors. We could not do it without you guys here on the channel, so let's dig into it right here with Lightning, FFXIII-2. She's going to be a very easy to use, very strong magic AoE tanking character. So she does have some supportive chaining options for you as well. So if you want to use some chain finisher, she's going to be used very, very, very good for you guys. And a lot of the characters out there, unless you're using like Paladin Cecil, you're going to be using her instead. So let's get in here. Her TMR is Etro's Champion, 20% HP, 40% defense and spirit when equipped with a sword. Very strong trust mastery reward, like very, 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 very good. Because you're going to be using a sword on her, it's going to be her own S-Team, the Overture. It's going to be a 158 spirit, 74 attack sword. So this is going to be very, very strong. You can put this in item mold as well, put some HP on it, some more spirit on it, make it more tanky for you. Has a lot of spirit on it. It's going to reduce that magic damage that you'll be taking on Lightning. So very strong character. Now let's get into her skills and her equipment. Equipment selection for weapons, she has dagger, swords, great swords, katanas, bows, lances, as well as guns there, but you're going to be using just the sword. You're going to be using Overture. It's going to be a very, very fantastic thing for her. Armor selection, she has light armor, heavy armor, hats, helms, clothing, light armor, as well as heavy armor. I said light armor and heavy armor. I meant light shields and heavy shields. My bad, guys. Light shields, heavy shields, as well as light armor and heavy armor. Innate abilities here, we have access to her first 2 skills. The first one here, Thunder Mage, does a little bit of light damage and does a light resist buff for 4 turns to the caster. Won't be using that one that much, but we have Blitz Paladin, a little bit of magic damage that scales off of her spirit, but it also does a small heal, 2,500 HP with a 3.4 healing mod. Nothing super substantial there, and these are pretty much the 2 of her worst skills. Now we have Aura, which is Conjurer Aura, 110% attack and magic buff with 100% high tide buff for 3 turns to your party. We have Mighty Guard Conjurer, 110% defense and spirit buff with 50% lightning resistance buff for your party. We have Overwhelm, 150% spirit buff to 1 ally except for the caster, 150% high tide buff for 3 turns to 1 ally except for the caster, and then she also gets those same buffs as well. So you target one other person, and she and that other person will get those spirit and high tide buffs. Now we also have Chaos Sorcerer. She's got a 50% attack, defense, magic, and spirit break for 3 turns to the enemy, as well as a 80% lightning resistance and peril for 3 turns to enemy as well. Now, so far, nothing super crazy, but let's get into the main kit of Lightning. This is going to be her main job. She's going to be here to soak up that damage for you guys, as well as do some support chaining. So she has Thundara, which is going to be a 3.2 multiplier spirit scaling to all enemies, but it is Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining frame family skill. So she can support chain with Absolute Mirror of Equity. There's a lot of other characters, right? Riku, Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining skill there. She's going to have Imperils for Riku as well, right? Riku has the Lightning Imbue. Lightning Imbue, and then we're gonna have Lightning Imperil here with Thundara. There is gonna be another skill at the very end. Thundara or Thundaga goes with Thundara. Thundaga is gonna be LB gauge fill of 3 crystals to all allies there, and it's gonna be Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining skill as well. This is important because her dual cast skill, while she does have dual cast, you can only pick each skill 1 time there. So what you are going to be doing if you want to dual cast Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining skills is you're going to use 1 cast of Thundara and 1 cast of Thundaga. That's double Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining skills, so you can dual cast those and chain with any other character that's dual casting Absolute Mirror of Equity for a support chain. Then you can bring a chain finisher. Very, very strong. Very, very, very good. Okay, very, very good. Now we have Immortality Knight here, which is 100% provoke for 4 turns to the caster and mitigates physical damage by 25% for 4 turns to the caster as well. So she can also tank up single target attacks. It's not really her mainstay, but she can get in here and tank single target physical damage for you as well if you have, you know, some gear later on in the future, or if the bosses don't do too much damage with that physical damage on that physical single target. We also have Etro Shield, which is going to be her AoE magic cover, 80% proc chance, 50 to 80% cover mitigation. Then we have her dual cast, which we just talked about, and then we have Goddess's Thunder Shield, and Judgment Bolt. The 2 big cooldown skills for her, very, very strong. 4-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Goddess's Thunder Shield. Chance to protect all allies for magic damage 80% with magic damage or with damage mitigation. So 60 to 80% cover mitigation for 4 turns to the caster. Also will give her a 1-turn mitigate magic damage buff by 70% for a single turn there, as well as increase the lightning resistance of your entire party by 100% for 4 turns. Why is this so strong? It is so strong because not only does it put up your cover mitigation and your cover on her, she's going to be mitigating the damage that you're bringing her to tank by 70% on top of that. So she's going to get a 60 to 80% cover mitigation on top of a 70% magic mitigation, which is super crazy for her. Her next skill is Judgement Thunderbolt, which is a 4-turn cooldown available on 1. It's going to be a 100% lightning imperil for 4 turns to all enemies. It's going to heal 20,000 HP split over 4 turns, so 5,000 HP a turn, and then it's also going to mitigate magic damage taken by 80% for 1 turn to the caster again. So she's got 2 different cooldowns, 2 of them that have mitigate magic damage, one for 70, one for 80. They're both 4-turn cooldowns, so this means you know, pretty much 2 turns out of the 4 turns while you're fighting with her, she's gonna have this giant magic mitigation. She's just gonna be a giant wall. All right, we already talked about Thundaga, and let's skip down to her Limit Burst as well. Something you guys are going to enjoy. 27 Limit Burst crystals. It does 29.8 mod magic damage. I think it's a physical attack that does magic damage, so it's going to work with imbues and stuff. But it also puts up a 50% general mitigation buff for 4 turns to all allies. So this is just going to be, you know, like Sacred Shield Charlotte style damage general mitigation, or Alexander Charlotte style general damage mitigation. Very strong. Very, very, very good here for you guys. She also has access to Kiraga, Imperilga, and Full Life. So Full Life, the most notable of her magic skills. And let's get into her passives here. Her Trust Master reward, which you guys are going to be activating, is going to be 40% Spirit and MP, 100% High Tide, and 100% bonus Odin stats. So a little bit of extra stats if you get Odin on. Although, guys, you're not going to be using Odin on her most of the time because she's a magic damage tank. So you're going to, you know, be tanking some sort of elemental damage a lot of the times. So you're going to be using some sort of Esper that's going to increase your resistance to that element. Now, the rest of her stuff, though, she's got 30% defense and HP, or it's 30% defense and spirit, 40% defense HP and spirit, 20% HP MP, 20% spirit HP, 30% spirit HP, 40% spirit MP, 100% bonus stat. She does have 50% base draw attacks as well. So if you want to do a draw attacks build with her, you can do that. You need 50% more, but she does have 50% base. She's got 10% magic dodge. She's got 50% lightning resistance, and she's immune to confusion, blind, and paralysis. At the start of the battle, she also is going to be getting auto cast Oral Shield, which is going to be 20% general mitigation. So this isn't that big of a deal. If you're a brand new player, this is going to help you out if you don't have someone to put general mitigation on your party. But once you get a actual support that puts up 30, 40, 50% general mitigation, that won't be that big of a deal. We also have auto buff Spirit 100% there, 3% MP recovery, 100% High Tide to help her get that limit burst off into LB gauge crystals per turn. So she's a very strong character. If you guys are using like Awaken Rain, no more. You're using Lightning, Final Fantasy 13-2 Lightning. If you're using a lot of characters out there, I would tell you to use Lightning. The only ones I wouldn't, you know, use her over, like Cecil is like a Grand Slam still using Cecil, but anyone else you could argue very highly, especially in certain team compositions, that you're using Lightning over anyone else. You know, just because she's so strong, especially if you value the support chaining thing. I value this a lot. I think this is an insane thing to have in your party, in your team composition. It allows you to just fit in chain finishers into your team. It lets you just kind of use whoever it is that you want. And if you have Riku right now too, she's going to be up there on your wants to haves list as well. So don't miss out on Lightning for FF13-2 version, the free tank. You'll use her in some situations, whether it's in certain boss fights or dark visions or whatever it is that you are able to cook up. So don't miss out on her. You're going to want to have her in your repertoire at some point, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out and spending a little bit of time here today. Don't sleep on this girl. She's very strong. Let me get that across the keg. Let's say it 1,000 times. But thank you guys so much for the support via Patreon, via YouTube channel memberships. You guys are fantastic and help me out so much in the time that we are going through. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are able to, you know, do everything you need to be doing for you and your family and your loved ones. And until then, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.